Welcome to the instructional video on the use of Site Web Desk. Site Web Desk is aimed at supporting your customers or clients over the internet. This may be hosted by us or from your own website. Each customer would be given a login either from a page on your website, here's an example for ours, the login information is here, or from an individual page that is linked from your support site. This page can have your own logo to replace this image and be tailored to meet your own specific requirements. You can provide your clients with two distinct login types. You can give them a generic one that they used for the whole company. Here's an example of that. And then this can be shared amongst them, and any contact there is welcome to log in and request support services with you. Alternatively, you can give each contact their own unique login to the help desk system. The only real difference between providing the generic login or individual contacts with their own login are, one, that when they go to log a new call, we will know who they are instantly, and two, when they look at their customer details, although they can go in here and change their generic password, if they log in as an individual user, then they will have the option to maintain their own contact details. Let's log in as Andy. This will be their email address as the login ID and an individual unique password for that particular user. We go to the customer details this time. Because Andy is identified as a manager, then Andy has been given an extra privilege where he can go in and edit the details of the contacts held within your system and keep those up to date. And that also includes locking or unlocking accounts that might have had a password violation. When you first log into the support site, you'll be presented with a welcome message. Now, this welcome message might be tailored for each individual client or the use of a generic one. There's a generic ticker message which you can display to customers to notify them of any new products, services, or anything to do with your service that might be affecting them today. There's also a quick summary of any outstanding calls and a running total of the calls that have been logged, opened, in progress, or closed. There's a simple menu on the left. Here we've got access to some frequently asked questions. Now, these frequently asked questions and also the links to further documentation and information about the products or services you offer, both of these can be put into groups so that the client that's just logged in will only see relevant frequently asked questions, as well as a number of generic ones that all customers will see, and also any links. So in the documentation, if they've only got one particular product, then there's no point in them seeing all the documentation for other products, which might clutter up their experience. Log in a new call. Now, one of the first things about the application is that all this terminology can be changed very simply within the configuration. So if you prefer to call it a new request, then that's easily done, and that will filter through the whole system. In this demonstration, we're just using the default terminology. From here we can see that the customer has already been identified, and in this case, because I've logged in as a contact, then my name is pre-filled. If I were to choose another branch, then I would receive an option to change to another contact. There is an option to select the product or the service that's been supplied. This is an optional field. It might not be relevant, so it doesn't have to be completed. The call type and subtype analysis is very useful, one for reporting later, but also for helping you to identify the type of request quickly, to auto-assign it, and in this instance we've created some relevant frequently asked questions, so they've appeared here, and this might be a list, a number of them. And by clicking through we can see what the question is, what the answer is, and possibly there's an attachment here that we can go into and see some screenshots and process for resolving the issues. There's also a method here where we can vote on whether we thought this was useful or not, which is useful feedback for the support desk to know the relevance of their FAQs, and this will help over time. So let's assume that this wasn't any use to us, the FAQ, and we're going to continue and log this request. There's an optional field here where we can choose the relevant piece of equipment. If you're holding inventory items for the customer, then they will appear there. And we give a quick description. Now this is pretty much the same as if you were entering an email. You put up a summary and a description in there, so it's the same format really. And there's a spell check to correct any small errors that we might have made before we go ahead and log that request. Now, also associated to call type and subtype can be scripts, and this can help gather some extra information, or it might be useful in troubleshooting the problem at this stage. And these can be yes, no, OK or text prompts. And then we're given a call reference number. Now that script that we saw is an optional and saves on adding a lot of extra fields on the call log page, which will only sometimes be relevant. If there was no script, then we would end up directly at this page where we're given a call reference and the option to add some attachments. Now these attachments, we can just browse our network, find a relevant file and then attach it to the call. So there's a call being logged. Now we can view those, one from our home page. We can see what is in the process of being looked at, and we can do a search. The search page can be used to inquire upon the call history. This can be done for an individual site or for the head office. Click on the search button. Now this gives us an inquiry into the call where we can see the progress and see who it's assigned to and any events that have been added by the support team. There's also the option to add our own events while we're here, so we can give the prompt to the help desk or provide some additional information. You might even be given the option to close your call if you've found the solution meanwhile. The feedback form can be part of your complaints procedures, required standards in managing your business, but also useful for getting some suggestions and some praise directly back to the administrator of the help desk. This will send an email notification to a nominated person in the help desk. It won't be visible to the first line support, it will only be visible to the help desk administrator. I hope that you've found this introduction to customer call logging in SiteWebDesk to be useful to you.